This is Montreal at its true self, and today we're counting down 9 ways to experience it the way locals do. Let's start the countdown. Number 9. Hochelaga-Maisonneuve, the neighborhood reinventing itself. We'll start in Hochelaga-Maisonneuve, or HoMa, a place that spent decades with a rough reputation and is now writing a completely different chapter. Young families, students, and artists are moving in because the rent still makes sense. Think one-bedroom apartments in the $1,200 to $1,400 range. And because the neighborhood has quietly turned its back alleys into community oases. They call them Ruelle Verte. Green lanes stitched with planters, string lights, picnic tables, and murals. The coolest moment is when you turn down what looks like a service alley and discover neighbors chatting over coffee while kids chase a soccer ball between painted fences. In summer, Promenade, Ontario closes to cars and opens to street fairs, patio tables, and buskers. It doesn't present itself as curated for visitors. It presents itself claimed by the people who live there. Most never make it this far east, but this is where the city's next chapter is being written. If you want to see the transformation up close, ask someone, anyone, to point you toward their favorite alley. They'll probably walk you there and tell you who painted the mural. When you're hungry, skip the tourist-heavy markets elsewhere and wander over to Marché Maisonneuve. You'll find seasonal produce and snacks without elbowing through tour groups, and you'll hear more French chatter than English around you. A relaxed bistro meal in HoMa, say a burger with a salad, or a plate of gnocchi with a glass of something you brought yourself, typically runs at approximately $15 to $30 per person. Late spring through early fall is prime time because the patios are open, the fairs are humming, and the alleys are at their lushest. To get here, ride the Green Line to Pinot, then stroll along Ontario toward Place BYOW. Give yourself 3 to 4 hours so you can drift a little, poke into a few side streets, and settle in somewhere that smells good. Number 8. Verdun and Wellington Promenade, a street with a secret beach. Slide downriver to Verdun's Wellington Promenade, once named one of the coolest streets on the planet, and for good reason. From early June to mid-September, the street shuts out cars and becomes a kilometer-plus living room. Toddlers licking ice cream, seniors perched on benches trading news, buskers filling the air with jazz, and shopkeepers leaning in their doorways. The whole scene hums with neighborhood energy before you even notice the restaurants spilling out onto the sidewalk. Eat your way along the street. Catiou serves Cambodian plates in the $18 to $22 range that taste like someone's grandmother is minding the walk. Brunch people swear by Arthur's Nosh Bar a short ride away, but the only way to avoid a line is to arrive at opening. Otherwise, you'll spend 45 minutes staring longingly through the window. The sweetest window is a weekday evening between 5 and 9, when the after-work crowd fills the terraces and the air smells like espresso and fried shallots. Take the metro to De l'Église or Verdun. Both are a few minutes on foot, then wander at your own pace. 2 to 4 hours gives you time to walk the length, dip down to the river, and linger over dinner without being rushed. Number 7. Bring your own wine, Montreal's dining hack. Speaking of dining experiences that locals love, one of Montreal's signature quirks is that hundreds of restaurants let you bring your own wine with no corkage fee. Even seasoned travelers often miss this local loophole that makes dining here cheaper and far more personal. The move is simple. You stop at the SAQ, that's Quebec's government-run liquor store, pick up a bottle, and show up to dinner with it under your arm. A decent table red might be $20, while plenty of good bottles sit happily under the $40 zone. A 3-course menu at a BYOW spot typically costs $50 to $70 per person. Do the math, and a full date night for 2, including your wine, often comes out to $80 to $130 instead of the jaw-dropper you'd pay in most cities. Walk Duluth Avenue and you'll feel the culture instantly. Couples clutching bottles, groups comparing labels, staff greeting regulars at the door. If you want refined and seasonal, book Otem, where the tasting lineup ranges from $50 to $70 before your bottle. For something warm and fragrant, Fenêtre sur Kabul serves Afghan plates in the $15 to $25 range, and it's one of those places where the saffron sneaks up on you. Old school French lovers should try La Pégase, also in that $50 to $70 lane, and exactly right if you crave sauce work and civilized pacing. Book ahead. On busy nights, La Pégase often runs 2 seatings, typically around 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., so early reservations are a must. Number 6. Street Art and the Mural Festival. 3,500 painted walls. Montreal wears art like a favorite jacket, comfortably, everywhere, and with a bit of swagger. For years, the city has been investing in art, and now it's like walking through a massive open-air gallery with 3,500 plus murals. The best approach to experience it is to walk Saint Laurent Boulevard and peel off into side streets. Most tourists stop here, but locals know the real treasures are tucked into the alleys of Mile End and Saint-Henri, which we'll explore later. In June, during the Mural Festival, you can watch artists suspended on scaffolds painting walls 9 stories high. Paint fumes mingle with food truck smoke, and passerbys turn into critics, photographers, and impromptu docents. Outside the festival weeks, the treasure hunt vibe is even better. Wander Mile End to find hidden pieces, duck into alleys, and keep an eye out for the sharp, geometric language of the artist many people know as 5'8". If you want work that bites a little harder, head south to Saint-Henri, where political pieces and indigenous voices make strong arguments on brick. The price is the best part. The stroll is free. What you pay is attention. Give yourself 2 to 4 hours, start near Sherbrooke and Saint Laurent, then walk north toward Montreal, with detours whenever a color pulls you sideways. If you want to arrive by metro, Saint Laurent or Montreal puts you right in the paint. Before we get to the top 5, if you're craving more city deep dives, subscribe to Itinerary Insiders and leave us a comment. We listen to your suggestions, and our next video could be crafted because of your feedback. Now, back to the countdown. Number 5. Piknik Électronik, Montreal's Sunday ritual. If Sunday in your mind means brunch, Montreal would like to propose an alternative. Piknik Électronik. From mid-May through mid-October, Parc Jean-Drapeau fills with thousands of dancers, picnickers, and people who just want to feel bass under open skies. The skyline sits across the river like a postcard. The sun slides down, someone uncorks a bottle, and a DJ drops a track that makes the entire hillside move as one. The mood is so warm, it can make strangers feel like friends. Tickets usually start at about $24, and while food trucks dish out snacks in the $8 to $15 range, the winning play is to build your own spread before you go. Hit Jean-Talon Market for a wedge of washed rind cheese, a crusty loaf, olives, berries, and a bottle from the SAQ. Then pack everything into a tote with a blanket and sunscreen. Arrive between 2 and 4 in the afternoon if you want a good spot on the grass. Then plan to stay through sunset when the light gets syrupy and the city starts to glow. If the metro seems tight late in the day, consider biking over the Jacques Cartier Bridge instead. The ride in is half the fun. Number 4. Saint-Henri and Joe Beef, food heaven with a gritty edge. Few visitors ever make it down to Saint-Henri, but locals know this stretch along the Canal as the city's most authentic food neighborhood. Down along the Lachine Canal, the neighborhood of Saint-Henri has quietly turned itself into one of the city's most satisfying places to eat. The jewel everyone battles for is Joe Beef. Reservations open on Resi and disappear in hours. It's the culinary equivalent of concert tickets. If you land a table, expect to spend $80 to $120 per person before drinks, which means dinner for 2 often hits $250 to $350. Once you add a bottle and maybe a dessert you didn't plan on ordering, but absolutely couldn't resist. The cooking is generous, the room feels like a club you didn't realize you'd joined, and the menu reads like a love letter to indulgence. Miss it and there's no reason to pout. Le Bon Papillon next door. Same team, walk-ins, often gives you that "how is this so good" feeling with a smaller bill. If you want something casual between strolls, grab a counter spot at Boucherie Grinder for a cheesesteak and eat it at a communal table while watching the butcher break down a side of beef like choreography. But what makes this neighborhood special isn't just the menus, it's the movement that happens around them. Step outside those dining rooms and you'll see cyclists gliding the canal path, artists repurposing old brick warehouses into studios, and friends sharing coffee on loading docks turned patios. The same creative pulse that powers its kitchens is transforming its streets. Between bites, walk or bike the canal's car-free path. 14 kilometers of runners, cyclists, and families treating the water like a second living room. Atwater Market anchors with the area with its 1930s Art Deco clock tower and stalls bursting with fruit, flowers, charcuterie, and summer treats. May through October is the sweet spot when the breeze off the water makes you linger. Get off at Lionel Gru or Atwater Metro and give yourself a half day to do it justice. Number 3. Tam-Tams at Montreal, a citywide jam session. Every Sunday, weather permitting, the steps at the Georges-Étienne Cartier Monument become a drum and the whole park vibrates with it. The Tam-Tams have been happening since the late 1960s, never officially sanctioned, always unmistakably alive. Dozens of percussionists set the tempo on hand drums, dancers improvise on the marble steps, hacky sack circles open and close like sea anemones, and in Fletcher's Field, medieval fighters in makeshift armor charge each other with foam weapons while someone's dog tries to referee. It is chaotic, inventive, and somehow perfectly Montreal. Most travelers hike Montreal for the view, but never realize this legendary Sunday ritual happens right beneath their feet. You don't need a plan, just curiosity. Bring water, sunscreen, and maybe an instrument if you want to join the pulse. Anything from a djembe to a shaker gets welcomed. If you prefer to watch, linger at the edges of the steps where the view is best and the etiquette is simplest. The price is zero, the vibe is generous, and the sweet spot is late afternoon between 4 and 6 when the rhythms have layered into something hypnotic. The closest metro is Montreal. It's a 15-minute uphill walk from there to the monument, but you'll hear the beat before you see the crowd. Number 2. Jean-Talon Market, the city's pantry. Plenty of visitors treat Jean-Talon Market like a photo stop. People who live here treat it like their pantry. Tourists often head to Atwater Market downtown, but Jean-Talon is where real Montrealers actually shop. Since 1933, this has been the weekly circuit for fruit, veg, fish, meat, bread, and cheese, and the market operates like a well-oiled orchestra. The smartest strategy to approach it is to ask for experiences rather than items. At Fromagerie Amel, say, "What's new?" and 10 samples might magically appear while an enthusiastic staffer narrates textures and rinds. At Jo La Croûte, the Popeye bread, baked with spinach and chèvre, vanishes fast. Call ahead or arrive early if you want a loaf, because once the stack is gone, it's gone. Over at Le Cochon Turon, don't stop at salami. Ask about ventrèche, cured pork belly that turns a simple pan of beans into something you'll brag about. For a week's worth of treats, plan on $30 to $50, which is often 20 to 40% less than a supermarket shop. Cheeses fall happily in the $8 to $25 range for wedges big enough to share, and a good rustic loaf runs $4 to $8. Weekday mornings are the move. Arrive between 8 and 10 when the stalls are full and the aisles are calm. Late Saturdays, expect a sea of strollers and elbows. In autumn, especially early October, the place practically overflows with apples, squash, and things you'll want to roast. Ride the metro to Jean-Talon and your steps from the northern entrance. Plan for 2 to 3 hours so you can snack as you go. Sit down for a coffee and still have time to build a picnic for later. Number 1. Mile End Food Crawl. More than bagels. We'll finish in Mile End, the neighborhood that people fall in love with and then immediately start plotting how to move to. The myth here begins with bagels, and honestly, the myth is accurate. Fairmont since 1949 and Saint-Viateur since 1957 bake around the clock in wood-fired ovens, hand-rolling dough and flinging sesame seeds like confetti. Fairmont tends a little denser, Saint-Viateur leans a touch sweeter. The best move? Try both. Form an opinion you'll defend to the grave, and then eat another for research. A single bagel will set you back approximately $1.50 to $2, and if you swing by at 6 or 7 in the morning, you'll catch the neighborhood shuffling in for a dozen like it's as normal as brushing your teeth. But Mile End is a full day if you let it be. Late morning, grab a stool at Wilensky's Light Lunch, a tiny counter that's barely changed since 1932. Order the special, salami and bologna, pressed on a roll, and accept the house rules with a smile. It's the point. The sandwich lands in the $6 to $8 lane and tastes like time travel. After that, wander over to the Twilight Sculpture Garden, a guerrilla art project that has turned a former gas station lot into a pocket park with sculptures on a reclaimed lot. Most people stride past it without noticing. You're in on a secret. Between bites, step into the small record stores and art galleries that dot Fairmont and Saint-Viateur, the same creativity that fuels the food spills into design and music here. Locals say it's the one place where you can shop for vinyl, vintage denim, and a bagel all on the same block, and they're not wrong. By afternoon, you'll be ready for a smoked meat sandwich at Lester's Deli in the $16 to $23 zone, stacked high enough to demand a nap, or you can push into the evening with a reservation at Damas, the city's celebrated Syrian kitchen, where main entrees usually fall between $40 to $70. End the crawl properly by sliding into Boxerman's for a glass in the $8 to $15 range and relive your day one bite at a time. The best option is to arrive by Metro, Laurier or Rosemont, and then let your feet do the rest. Give yourself 4 to 5 hours and treat it like a progressive meal woven through side streets. Start at dawn with bagels, and you might be too full by dinner, but that's a risk worth taking. That's the version of Montreal locals actually live. Alleys turned into gardens, dinners where the wine comes from your tote bag, Sunday picnics that double as dance floors, and parks where drummers, dancers, and foam sword fighters share the same beat. Comment below which of these 9 you'd try first. Our team reads every comment, and your picks help shape the next city we cover. And if you want more smart, usable guides every week, you already know where the subscribe button lives. See you in the next one.